What's up, guys? We're gonna do a little chat here tonight. Say hi to everybody. See how everybody's doing. See how everybody's week's going so far. What's up, Cyclone? Artsy Propaganda. What's up, buddy? Joe, what's up, man? How's it going, guys? Everybody having fun on this Wednesday? What's up, guys? Nice and cold here right now. Had a nice, beautiful day 2 days ago, and then yesterday I woke up to probably three or 4 inches of snow fell, and it's been cold now. What's up, Molds? Hello. How's it going, bud? Major? What's everybody up to today? Everybody had any fun this weekend? Hoping to go out maybe tomorrow or this weekend. I'm going to try and go back down the motocross track. I want to take my Crate 8S. I don't think I dropped the video yet, but the motocross track in the very back of it now, they've completely redone the whole one back section of it. And there's this huge hill going down over the hill. It's an awesome jump. I think it's going to be the best for the A scales because it's pretty large and it should work pretty nice. I'm hoping to head down there this weekend. Gonna talk with Trevor and see what his plans are too. I don't know if he's in here or not. Me and him were just playing the new Call of Duty for a while and just got out of there. Beating on the XR. How are you liking the XRT so far? You had any issues? What's going on, Harold? How's it going, buddy? Yeah, we had cold. Most of the snow kind of melted off today, but it's been cold. I mean, it's cold outside. It's been hovering around like 30, 32, and then like in the evening now, it's even colder. Been spending the day out running around all over the place today. I'm off currently. Trying to work on this. I got the first video, put out today with this thing, and a plan is to take this thing up to the indoor track, this new Relarlo. Forgot to mention that to Trevor. I don't know if Trevor's in here, but plan is I want to take this up to that indoor track that I like going to in the wintertime because I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's kind of the perfect size for that indoor track because any of you guys have seen the videos from that indoor track. I mean, that indoor track is not big. It's definitely meant for like 10th scale and under. So I think this thing might be a great size, and the suspension feels great on it. So we're going to give it a try up there. So, Garcia, your accent reminds me of home. Yeah, from Pittsburgh and Western PA. It's so crazy with accents. Like, I don't notice any kind of accent at all or anything like that. But, man, a lot of people, if you live in this area or know the accent, people can spot it immediately. Servo's a little weak. Yeah, I heard a couple people say, but have you had to change out or destroyed the spur gear or the pinion on that thing yet? Because I've been seeing tons of people posting pictures up of the spur and pinion just self-destructing, but that's not a huge surprise. Not yet. So I'll tell you what, this was one big thing, and we're not going to do a big thing on it. I brought it up here because number one, it's clean still, so I can bring it up here and put it on my desk. But guys, on this new Relarlo they got, man, the remote control that they put in with this new model now is so much better than that first one that came with the purple buggies and stuff. Like, it actually feels like a real controller. Like, it's nice. It's got a great feel to this thing. Yeah, I'm debating so far. I haven't obviously picked up the XRT yet, and I'm still debating on getting one. I'm curious to see like a little bit more running with that thing of it getting, the 100 plus foot mark and, the 20 to 30 foot in the air, like how it takes that stuff. Because like the X-Max, when I had the bigger power system in there, jumping at bigger stuff like that, and it was destroying. I kept busting bulkheads and chassis, and it was just a nightmare. So, also, guys, we're going to get on a little bit of a personal note here because I noticed it's about the same kind of group of guys in here. And I know any of you guys that, had followed me on, Instagram or Facebook even or stuff like that, had seen some things going on recently. And there's some stuff going on with my health, unfortunately. Now, it seems like there might be a game plan together, but kind of make a long story short, last week, 2 weeks ago, well, no, actually, I'm sorry, 3 weeks ago, I went to a dermatologist. Um, I thought I had like some sort of, cyst type thing. I know we talked about this. Anyway, went through that whole process and finally, sorry, hold on. Put a box under the Christmas tree, Oh, nice. Gotta wait till Christmas. But anyway, guys, so that whole thing came back and the results finally came back last week. And the tumor that was back there that, they weren't sure what it was, unfortunately did come back as cancer. So obviously started, talking with doctors and getting stuff together. And I went and seen a specialist yesterday, a specialist here locally. And what's up, Claire? Yeah, how's it going? Um, so yeah, but anyway, so I started seeing some doctors. I went and see a specialist doctor, cancer doctor. It's a sarcoma, is what it is. And it all started because this is literally where the first one is. You can see I have to draw on myself every time it starts to fade out, so that the doctors can find and go back to where it is. Here very shortly, I'll be having surgery mid-December, and they're going to be removing both of them. So what they found was the biopsy results got sent out, and they didn't come back like completely conclusive on. They know what type it is, but they don't know exactly. I know this doesn't sound like it makes sense. They know what it is, but they don't know what type it is. So they're sending the results now out to California, and they're going to redo all the biopsy testing and find out exactly what it is or what stage it might be in and all that kind of stuff. So they're going to do that. And then at that point, the doctor I talked with yesterday is going to kind of put together a game plan of exactly what they want to do. Now, after talking with a specialist, I appreciate it, guys. I'll get this thing figured out. But, after talking with a specialist yesterday, it was kind of reassuring because he said, best case scenario that it's nothing really, or it's not that bad yet. We'll just remove it and sew you up and you should be good. Because luckily I found out he explained to me that the sarcomas, the way this is, that they stay pretty much localized, that they're not a very spreading type of cancer. So that was definitely reassuring to hear. And then he said worst case scenario that if it's really bad, as far as like what stage it's in, I guess, then it's just going to require more surgery as far as removing a lot more tissue around it. And then it might require like some radiation or, a chemo treatment or two in that area. So it made me feel a lot better about it. I was out today, went to my doctor's and got cleared for surgery, for anesthesia and all that stuff. But I know some of you guys are on my, other types of social media and have probably seen some weird stuff of me checking in at hospitals and all that. And, you guys bring along, and I figured to let everybody know kind of what's going on at the moment. Last week I was terrified. The moment that doctor called me and told me what the results were and what was going on, I mean, that feeling was just terrifying. I mean, absolutely terrifying. It was just the millions of thoughts and things that start racing through your brain is just extraordinary. I didn't know what to think. I sat there and thinking like, okay, immediately started racing through heads like, all right, well, how bad is this? Am I gonna live another year? Am I gonna live another 6 months? Like, no idea. But after yesterday's visit with the specialist, it definitely made me feel a lot better about the overall outcome. So that's where things are at with that. Still going out, having fun, putting together videos and stuff and all that stuff. But it just so everybody knows, if there ever comes a time where it seems like there's some weird spacing or things going on, or keep you guys updated on what's going on. But like I said, mid-December is the surgery date I'm scheduled for. So after that, hopefully they can remove everything, get it done with, and move on with life. Because this hasn't been definitely a scary moment. It's bizarre. You don't really think about, especially when you're younger, and you just think you're kind of immortal at that point, right? Like, oh, I'm never gonna, nothing's ever gonna take me out. And then as you start getting older, those thoughts and things, you start kind of a little more realistic. And then when something like that is told to you, it's like, it's a bizarre feeling. It's a really strange feeling. So I appreciate that, Nick. I really do. And thank you, Harold. I really appreciate that, buddy. Yeah. There's been many things, that have happened throughout my life so far that, at the times you're like, what in the world? Like, why me? That whole why me moment, and why am I having to deal with this? And, not every time, but many times it comes out on the other end and you're like, you kind of can put together a reasoning for why things happened the way they did. So it's crazy. It's a bizarre thing, but at least now I feel like there's a game plan together, and at least I know kind of where things are at and what we're going to do from there. So I just figured I'd share that with you guys. I was going to, honestly, last week, but I wasn't in a very good, it was hard to talk about it. I mean, I was with my family and stuff and talking with people. And as soon as I had to try to talk with anybody about it, it wasn't easy. I couldn't keep myself together. So, but, enough of that, no more sad news. I just figured I'd kind of fill everybody in on what is going on there. So we won't continue to track down. I know that's kind of a serious note to go off of maybe, but I appreciate that, Bubbles. How's it going? Thank you, Thompson. Yeah, get through it. Nothing, a lot of other things I thought were going to take me out in life and haven't yet. So I don't think this is going to be it. Thank you, Jason. What are yours on? What are yours on this TRX? The TRX? I'm sorry, I missed something. I know. I do need to get some paddle tires. Somebody. Oh, the XRT. I haven't bought one yet. I mean, that's all. I've been seeing a lot of different mixed stuff. Like, a lot of people having some fun with them. They definitely look like a fun car, but like I think I mentioned before about my whole thing with the X Max. The X Max is fun in its stock. I have fun personally with the X Max more of in its stock form. A few key points to keep health and keep things together on it. Brace and some stuff. I love it. I have a ton of fun with the X Max. But when you start, it seems like with that platform, when you start beefing that thing up crazy with a ton of power, and the more you start jumping that thing, especially with the X Max, that it starts self-destructing. And how many times I got in, comment battles with people on there with saying about showing what happened to the X Max. I'm like, oh, you must be crashing this doing that. And it's like, the X Max is great more in its stock form. Maybe with a different ESC and stuff, too, is a great way. But I'm just afraid that, if I want that XRT, that I don't want to run into the same thing, because one night, guys, honestly, that X Max had me so irritated. I wanted to just run it over with my pickup truck. I was so done with it because every time I tried to take it out there, I would get, a minute, 2 minutes of runtime out of it. And either I was snapping a bulkhead, the shock towers, the front or rear chassis pieces. Something was always breaking on it. It drove me nuts. So, yeah, that's why I'm still kind of hesitant about the XRT. But it seems like, a lot of guys are enjoying it, and it seems like it's a pretty decent platform. But don't usually do this too often, but I'm going to hold off a little bit on that one. What's up, RC Master? How's it going? I love the armor. The Outcast 4S, that thing is a blast. Still really enjoying that thing. I don't regret buying that at all so far. It's been fun. I did have to change the chassis on it, obviously, from the skate park incident out in Ohio with RC for us and Kenny from Black Sheep RC when I was out there. But I mean, that was no fault of the car. I mean, I tried to do that whole 360 loop and just nosedived or full speed into the concrete. So that doesn't surprise me that I broke it, but I changed the chassis out on it and it's been good to go again. Yeah. But you guys, also, I'm not trying to do a sales bit here, honestly, but if you or anybody else that wants to get one of these, um, there's a link in the video I just put up today, and Relarlo gave me an affiliate program with this thing. So literally a portion of any of these cars that are bought through the link in my description, I actually get a small percentage of it. It's the first time I ever signed up for anything like that, and I wasn't even going to, but the links, the way that it worked was it was actually easier just to make my thing and be able to post up my own links whenever I wanted to. And that way I knew what car and stuff it was going to. So at any rate, I did create one of those things. So so far, I just drove it around out my back parking lot for a few minutes. I haven't got to really take it out, but it's fun. It handles great. The steering is great on it. It seems pretty fast, and I only ran it on a 2S so far. I'm going to throw a 3S battery in this thing and run it around because we all know, like, that purple buggy that they had. What's up, RC for all? How's it going, bud? Frank? Yeah, it's not a sales pitch. It's not a sales pitch. I'm just talking about the thing. But I'm just saying that if you did buy one, buy it through my description link. But no, I'm curious to run this thing on 3S because, whenever I ran the purple buggy on 3S, I mean, that thing was just ridiculously fast. You could not fully trump that trigger without it just standing up or wheeling backwards. RC I'm telling you, man, that is one thing. The Relarlo, man, the packaging on this thing is on a whole nother level. I mean, that nice padded case that they put this stuff in, all the extra parts you get with it. It's just a great packaging that they do with this car. And I'm so glad that they went, like I said, with a real controller. And this thing, doesn't have, it feels like a lot like a Dumbo as far as like the weight, the feel of it. It's got a great feel to it. So, and it's a 4-channel remote. So you want to add anything on it, there's a 4-channel receiver in there. RC Master. What? I don't know what that link is, but Frank, I want this buggy, but I need a slash. I know. Well, that's what I'm doing with this thing, Frank. I'm going to be using this on the indoor track, like I said, because I think it'll be a perfect size for that smaller indoor track that I go to. So I'm going to charge up some 2S and a couple 3S batteries and take this thing up there. Hopefully, thinking about tomorrow, because Thursdays is an open practice at the indoor track. So I might try to go up there. And I don't know if Trevor, if you're in here, but if you're listening, I don't know if you're interested in going. But that's what I'm thinking about doing because that's the link for. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was nice because they put that in there. And I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun car to run around in the track. The tires, I'm not sure because the track up there is like a really packed kind of clay stuff. And any tires I ran up there with any kind of knobbies, I mean, these knobbies are really fine, but I think they're going to pack up too much. But because honestly, the best tires for that indoor track are pretty much bulb tires. If they're slicks, they work. They get the best traction on that track. There's Trevor. What's going on, buddy? Yeah, me and Trevor were playing some of the new Warzone 2 for a while. But we were on there for a while, and I had to get off. I was kind of getting, with many games, you start getting a little too into it and get frustrated sometimes. What's up, Jeremy? How's it going, bud? How are you doing? Yeah, I haven't ran a carpet track yet. I've never been on a carpet track. I've only ever been on like the dirt and clay stuff, but I haven't ran a carpet one. I don't even think there's one around here. Like, I don't know of any carpet track in this area. Everything's either a dirt or an outdoor dirt. And that's pretty much it. One thing about my area, unfortunately, like there's not huge, a lot of tracks and stuff like that. On the road for work. Where are you at? Where are you at now? I'm home until um, next two or this Tuesday coming up. I'm heading to Alabama, but I'm off the rest this week because I have a couple more. Oh, you're not. You're in York, PA. All right. I got to go to going to Tuscaloosa, but I'm home for the next. I'm home this rest of the week because I got another doctor's appointment and stuff like that. Getting testing done and getting blood work done and getting chest X-rays because they just want to verify that nothing has formed in the lungs at all. He says the likelihood is very, very unlikely since it's very localized, but he just wants to be sure, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't want to, battle this once and then find out that something was missed and have to deal with it again. That's for sure. One scare of the C word is enough for me. Neither highly around dirt twice. Yeah, they didn't. Well, the indoor track up there that I go to. What's up, Kurtz? How's it going, buddy? The indoor track up there, that we go to. I think I might, like I said, I might have to get some different tires for this up there while I'm up there. But it's such a hard packed clay. Anytime you try to run anything with knobbies, they pack instantly, and you just can't get any traction whatsoever. So, who we got in here? Jeremy, Kurtz, Addicted. Trevor, you want to go to the indoor track this tomorrow or this weekend? I got some batteries charging up, so I think I'm going to take probably multiple cars. I'm going to take this thing, and I'm going to take my Techno up, even though the Techno is not really as set up for the track anymore because it just has a stock 6S BLX system in it. But I can throw the track tires I have for it back on there, and it'll still be fun. I ain't no racer, and I ain't doing no professional track laps. So I don't think I have to worry about it. It's just fun to go up there and run it, especially when the outside is covered with snow. Looking to see if there's anything I missed in here, Kurt. Anybody else having any fun this week? I don't know. I can't remember. I know. Well, you're in New York, so I know you're in the cold weather. Many of you were in the cold weather, I'm sure. The only bummer part, man, wintertime, it's like I honestly like winter. Like I love the snow and stuff. And I don't really hate the cold weather, but it's a bummer that it puts such a drag on being able to go out and run the cars. I'm still going to go out there and run the cars. It's just, every time an A-arm, you break so much more stuff between A-arms and other things that you normally wouldn't break, but everything snaps so much easier in the cold. That's the only bad part. And as long as there's not, if it's under like 3 inches of snow out there, it's pretty easy to drive around with even stock tires. But if it gets any worse than that, it might be paddle tire time. And I think at my local hobby shop, I just seen a set of paddle tires down there, but I'm not sure what they were for. They came in a Traxxas bag, so they're probably 17s, I'm assuming. Just got back from a cruise in California. There was snow. How was the cruise? I was on one cruise so far in my life, and it went from, I think it was where did it leave? Somewhere in Florida. I can't remember. It was like Orlando or Miami or somewhere. And it went out. We went to the Grand Cayman Islands, Cozumel, Mexico, and then it went up the Mississippi River, docked in New Orleans and stuff. And it was a blast. I mean, I didn't think I was honestly going to really like the cruise too much, the whole kind of being more structured, I guess, but it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. And Cozumel was an interesting place because I wasn't traveling for work yet at this time. And it was a fun experience, but Cozumel, Mexico, man, they got some weird stuff going on. I don't know if anybody in here has ever been to Cozumel, Mexico, but they got some weird. They like the sculpture everything like lamps, um, pens, all kinds of just normal household items. They sculpture them from, or they make them all look like, I don't know how I can say this. Only a man has one, to say that. And it's everywhere. You go into all these little shops and you have just all these things in the shape of a you know what. It's so weird. I don't know what it is with that place. Bunch of bands on board, live music fest. Did you do like the all inclusive thing where you can get like all your drinks and everything all just anytime you wanted? Yeah, I don't get it. So the first time, as soon as we got off the boat, we went down and did a little walking around, and we wanted to one of these like big tent type, look like a permanent tent thing, but it was a shop down there. As soon as I walk in, I'm looking around, I'm like, why is everything in the shape of a? And then we left that place, went to another shop. It was the same way. I'm like, all right, well, whatever. Bizarre. RC Field, you got one of these cars, right? You're saying you got one. My brain hasn't been working right. Looking to see. Speaking of Felix, does anyone of you can run a Y harness 4S? Run a Y harness 4S on the 3S BLX. One of these days I bought one and really wanting to try. Sorry, speaking of, anyone know if you can run a Y harness on 4S? You mean you want to run like two 2S lipos on like a Y? Like you can run two separate batteries? I'm not totally sure what you're asking there, Rick. I bought one. I really wanted to try and see. I'm not sure if I'm understanding your question right. No drink because I can't drink that much to make it work. I know. Well, we got everything else except the drinks. Okay, so you want to run 2S and basically run 4S off of that on a 3S? On the 3S? No, I would not. No, I don't even think the ESC will run it. I don't think it's going to kick on. I need a car to go up to the track. Well, Trevor, you could go on my link and buy one of these cars. But it's not a sales pitch. It's not a sales pitch. Yeah, I don't think the ESC is going to kick on running on 4S. All ESCs are a little different. Like some ones, like this one was obviously set up for 2S is what they said with, but they will run 3S. But I don't think the BLX stuff will do that. Yeah, you might either just burn it up or it might not go bad. But yeah, these things will run, like they send 2S lipos with them, but they will perfectly comfortably run 3S. They will just, that's why I ran the purple buggy on all the time, and it never cared. I see a lot of people running all 3S on those things, and they don't mind it at all. So that's what I'm going to run on here, but I'm going to see what's better on the track because, just like my Techno, yeah, it runs 6S, but I found out on the track running 4S was like perfect because 6S just had too much and you would spin too much and it was too much for that track at least. On a bigger outdoor track, it might be fine, but running 4S on my Techno was perfect on that thing. Decor on. I go back. You're going to put some Christmas decor out. Decorating the house, yeah. I know, everybody goes straight to Christmas. Thanksgiving doesn't seem to have a holiday anymore. It's like people go from summer, they hit Halloween, which everybody loves and loves decorating for, and it just goes straight to Christmas. What's up, Johnny? How's it going? Doing good, buddy. And it is, Thanksgiving is just kind of like a good get together for everybody to overstuff themselves before Christmas. It's kind of like a warm up, for Christmas time. Yeah, the 6S on that thing is just too much for that track, and that's why I started taking mostly all 4S packs with me whenever I ran that track because I liked it just far better. You can't run 3S in the 4S was harder. Yeah, so that would be equal. Yeah, RC Master. I'm not sure if he was meaning like two. I thought he was meaning two S packs equaling 4S on a Y harness, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's definitely you don't want to be running two different size batteries on a Y harness. That would definitely that would be ugly. It's one thing I haven't seen too much of yet on the XRT is electronics going up in smoke yet. Like the X Max, loved catching on fire with the ESCs there for a while and had a lot of those things going bad. But so far, I actually haven't seen much with the electronics. It's mainly just been the gears. Yeah, I was thinking two S, but yeah. I mean, obviously, if it was a 4S system, yes, you'd be fine with that. But on the 3S, now you'll definitely if it doesn't pop immediately, it's going to burn up pretty fast. Ah, I got you. But yeah, guys, that was pretty much I just figured go on and chat with everybody for a little bit, let them know what was going on, with the whole health situation and all that, where things stood. Just kind of figured out let everybody up to date. Now that I was kind of in a good place to actually talk about things and all that. Probably not going to stay on too long tonight. Yeah, it's best just to avoid the fire. Battery fires are no fun. I've been so much more diligent about going over batteries anymore. The minute that they start getting really weird or having charging issues, I just had like I told you guys before. Like I've been having so many batteries recently go bad, and then I had a couple of them, those RC lipo batteries that puffed up. One of them caught one or two of them caught fire, started smoking, chucked them out. But I finally got a few new batteries now. Ivonic sent me a couple 4S batteries and a 6S battery. So with that and some of the other stuff I already had, I finally got at least enough that I could charge up some stuff and go out with multiple cars and have a run. But I was stockpiling a lot more batteries at one time. Like I had a ton of batteries, and I found that it was like having all those batteries. Number one, especially no matter where you have them all packed up. Like I have them in my safe downstairs that I just bought for that to kind of keep everything contained. But it's like, I found myself with that many batteries, and if you're not rotating them out enough, I was dealing with them, even putting them in storage mode was having issues with them, the cells dying. And plus, it's just more of a fire hazard. So I've kind of weaned it down now to a good amount of batteries where it's enough that I can use and rotate through and use them all the time and get them charged and discharged and stuff. But I don't have this massive backlog of stuff because at one point I had probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 6S batteries and probably 10 or 12 of that area 4S packs. And then I got rid of all my 3S packs, honestly started going bad because I didn't have anything anymore that ran 3S. And I don't run dual batteries in any of my 6S cars. I only have one plug in them. Because I'm not a big fan of the dual battery packs, running them in 6S. So it was like I started weeding through everything. So now I got a pretty good amount and kind of the perfect amount as far as being able to run them and keep them charged and discharged. And, a battery definitely needs that. I'm sick of losing Spectrum batteries. Yeah, dude. I'll tell you what. A while ago, I had tried out a few of the Spectrum batteries, and those things disappointed me so bad with the life of those things. As soon as those things got smacked around too hard, they were just dying on me left and right. I could not keep those things working very long at all. So I started kind of experimenting around with different ones, like between the Z's and the Sikokin and the Ovonics and what the heck else was there? the Power Hobby, and out of everything, I was pretty much having the best luck with the Ovonics and the Sokokin, which was oddly enough, was a cheaper battery on Amazon. But those things, they just seem to kick. I mean, I had those things so bent and smashed up, and they still worked great all the time. Yeah, it seemed like a lot of even the Spectrum batteries. It was a kind of the same boat with like the Traxxas batteries, right? Like there's constantly just issues with them. They don't perform as well as some of the other ones in the battery. Have I tried the? I have not. I've honestly not tried the Gens Ace yet. I've heard so many. I heard a lot of mixed reviews, and that's probably any battery you name out there. You put that out there to a group of 100 people, and you're going to get mixed reviews on every one of them. But I haven't tried the Gens Ace yet. No, I want to. I just haven't. I haven't had to use them yet, or had to buy them yet, and I should give them a try. Yeah, the Sakokins, man, I was impressed with those things. I thought for sure for the price of them, they were going to be garbage, or not hold up, or cells dying really quick. But as far as for a cheap battery, they have probably been one of the best with durability and not having issues. The HRBs, yep. I have a couple HRBs. I had one finally go bad, but I have a set of the giant ones, the 9500 milliamp, 120C 4S ones, the dual ones I run in the X-Max and in the Creighton. Those things, I'm amazed how durable the actual pack is, like as far as with bending and flexing and twisting and stuff. Like they've been holding up awesome. Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, the car is fun. And right now, I mean, for the price of these things, Rick, it's, you can't beat it. I mean, I thought there's a pre-sale going on where it's like $149. After that, I don't know how long that pre-sale is going on or what exactly, how that's all going to work. And then after that, $249. But I mean, for the price of what you all get with the car and stuff, you can't beat it. I mean, there's more carbon fiber on this thing than probably any car I've ever owned. I mean, the carbon fiber chassis, shock towers, all the steering linkage inside coming off your servo, all kinds of stuff. And it's nice now that they actually have the adjustable motor mount on this one, where you can a lot easily adjust the motor mount for your pinion and set your mesh properly, which was a great idea because on the purple one, you couldn't adjust it. It was it was more fixed. I mean, there was some movement in there, but it was difficult to adjust it. Or at least now they made it a lot easier on this one. And see, it's got the dual sway bars. It should work. I think it's going to work pretty nice on the track. DXF batteries. Balance 7 using both dropped. Where the DXF? Does that stand for something? Because I'm not sure. I honestly never heard of DXF. Yeah, and you get a whole extra set of A-arms, front and rear, extra screws. What the heck else was all in there? There was the front and rear A-arms. Oh, the steel. It comes with the carbon fiber shock towers, but they also give you steel shock towers with it, I guess, if you end up destroying that. And a whole bunch of other parts. There's a ton of stuff in that bag that y'all get with this thing. So, I mean, it's nice that at least you can get it, you run it, and if you do crash it, break an A-arm or a hinge pin, because they come with the hinge pins, that you can put the thing back together again and run it. So, because I'm just going to take the whole bag with me when I go to the track, and that way, if I tag the wall like I've done many times at the indoor track, but I can change out the A-arm, because that was the first thing I killed on my Techno up there. I tagged the wall, killed the A-arm, and broke the front rear hinge pin brace and ripped it right out of the bulkhead. So, but yeah, I agree with you on the Traxxas batteries. I have the cell. I get to change. So, is that kind of like another weird Traxxas proprietary thing where you have to use their batteries on their cars? I mean, I know that they kind of do that. I mean, Traxxas kind of builds things, especially for the beginner, right? Not saying the cars are for the beginner, but the way that they kind of put their stuff together with their batteries, their sizes, and a lot of things that they make it all just very easy to kind of throw together. Their chargers, um, but the unfortunate part is like when they by doing certain things like that, they really limit their cars or their stuff to just being able to use their stuff. And that's what I don't like that. That's what kind of drives me crazy with stuff like we talked about before with their servos and other things that it's like, you know, they make it so that you have to use their stuff. And again, I get it. If somebody changes something out, there's not much guess to it. They make things lined up so that you know exactly, hey, you can only go in one way type of stuff. RC for all on it, actually. And talk about that. What's up, Jeremy? I went back to my old job. And that was kind of where I was at right now and what we're talking about, because this is what honestly really threw me off during this whole situation. I don't know when you joined RC for all, but I left obviously television and then went into the robotics thing. And then I left the robotics and decided to go back to my old job. Well, going back to my old job was all fine and dandy until I had a lapse in my health insurance. And then with finding out about the whole cancer thing, a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, great. This was perfect timing that I leave my job and I'm now waiting for my new insurance to start. And this is when I got all these doctor's appointments and all this other goofy stuff going on. So it was just like, it was perfect timing. Like, I had health insurance for the longest time. And, every time you've ever gotten those things, it's never happened in that time frame, but everything kind of hit at the worst time. But I wasn't going to wait and be like, well, now I got to wait for my insurance to start or this or that to go, get the rest of this figured out. So yes, health insurance does really suck. It never fails. It seems like when you have it, you don't need it. And when you don't have it, when you need it. And that's kind of where I ran into, and I'm trying to get, all that stuff, sorted out and figured out and stuff. But at this point, at least the majority and the operation and all that stuff is going to happen once my insurance with my old company, who I went back to with television, that insurance will be started by the time my surgery comes. So at least that's a good part. At least I know I won't have to deal with that or dealing with whether or not something's covered or not, or whether or not the insurance is active. So that part, at least it was a relief, at least when we got that stuff scheduled. So, but yeah, health insurance, man, it would just drive me crazy. Rejects says, I always use the Venom batteries, but they're no longer business. Yeah, dude, Grizzly, I still have the Venom charger, and that I have the Venom Duo, the one into the dual charger. And I'm thinking about getting another. I need to get a quad charger. I would like to get a charger that I can charge up 4 batteries at a time for, because it never fails. It's like whenever you want to go out and you need to get batteries charged up, that's like, you want to get at least 4 6 packs charged up before you go. And I can only charge 2 at a time. So I want to get a bigger charger that I can do 4 at a time for. What's up, Mike? How's it going, buddy? Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. It's all good, man. Yeah, Mike, I don't know if I had talked to you yet about all this. And I know obviously when I was out there in Ohio, I talked to you about it. And you knew that I was going to the doctors and all that. But I don't know if I told you what was found out. But yes, everything did come back. Came back positive that it was cancer. But I explained earlier in this live that, there's a game plan together and it sounds pretty promising. And things sound like, as long as what the doctor's looking at and sees at this point, it's staying pretty localized. So it sounds pretty good and promising. We'll say that. But yeah, Jeremy, that Venom Duo charger. I mean, that charger, I have had that thing now for a couple of years, and part of it caught on fire whenever I had my lipo fire in the basement, and that thing is still kicking. I mean, it is one reliable charger. Yeah, they're going to be. I go in for surgery in the middle of December, Mike, and they're going to remove everything, and the doctor seemed pretty confident that he's going to be able to remove everything and pretty much call it a day. Now, once the tests come back from California, I'll have a better idea, but it sounds pretty promising. I have 2 dual charger passports. What kind of price it could be? Yeah, I was looking at. I was trying to remember what it was. What brand that was of the charger. It was the quad charger. I seen there's one on Amazon. It was it was a knockoff of basically somebody's. I can't remember what that was. The high tech. I think that's what I think it. Or Pro Tech. Was there a Pro Tech? I can't remember. It may have been high tech is what it was, but it was something like that. They're blue and there's it's a quad charger. But that's what I think I want to go with now, so that I can get, be able to do 4 batteries at a time. Because 2 sometimes just doesn't do it whenever you're trying to charge them up the morning of, and you want to go out that day. Only be able to charge 2 batteries at a time is kind of a drag. I know, Mike, you're dealing with the same thing now with the lovely snow and cold weather. Lovely wintertime. Yeah, I've been impressed, man. I heard, again, it's those things, you hear mixed review people saying, oh, the Venom chargers were garbage, this and that. And I saw it one time it was like, I think it was on Amazon. There was some special going on. I think it was $99. Really cheap. A big sale on it. That's what made me, I'm like, all right, we want to try one of these things. If it doesn't last that long, at least I'm not out of ton. But I haven't been able to kill the thing yet. Even catching it on fire, the thing's still going. I figured it was going to be trashed after that because, the leaves melted and shorted together during the charging. And, it was bad. So I figured for sure that it was going to be toast. I wiped all the black soot off of it and cleaned it up and plugged it, hooked up new leaves to it. And she's still working. But one is diamond, the other one is brand high tech. Yeah, it's another thing. It's one thing I got to do. I got to get another charger so I can do that. I got a decent amount of batteries now. Like I said, I got enough to kind of run through my normal stuff. I had that one. I think Trevor has one of them now. But the one company had sent me a couple chargers that we tested out, and the one was really nice. They were actually some really nice chargers and the features. And it had that Bluetooth stuff where it would notify your phone when everything was charged or how things you could monitor it on your phone. It's definitely a really cool feature. You can check your email and let me know. Is that? Oh, geez. And let me know is not an RC. All right, Harold. We'll take a look at this right now. I'm curious to see what you're referring to here. Not an RC. Man, you got the presents stacked up already, buddy. Jeez. Can I come to your house for Christmas? Oh, come on. Are you talking about the big candy stripe box? Or the one? What's up, MBRC? Or, you're probably talking about the one. Okay, the one with the red bow, like the red, not the one that's wrapped, but yes. Yeah, it definitely looks, that definitely looks like an RC box to me. I would definitely call it that. Absolutely. You think that's your TRX? Good. Two. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's late night for you. It's only 8:39 p.m. at night here, so it's a late night for you. Yeah, I never have owned like one of the Traxxas chargers or one of the like the Spectrum chargers. Again, like Spectrum chargers, they made it real easy for people with that whole new smart system. You don't have balance or anything. You just plug it in, hit the button, and you're charging it. Yeah, they work. They do work, but I don't think the longevity of them are great because I've talked to a lot of people and talked to my local hobby shop and stuff as far as issues that they've had with them, and it's hit or miss. It seems like with more regular and heavier use, they don't hold up very long. But yeah, I mean I think that's going to be my next purchase is going to be a good quad charger and set up. The only thing that I know with that thing, I'm either going to have to set something up because I charge them inside of the steel ammo can, right? And obviously with that thing laying flat, I'm going to have to come up with a new charging system or get some really long extension leads to come off it so I can still keep the batteries inside the ammo case while I'm charging, because it's the only problem is like the Duo sits higher, and I can like put it right against there. But I know with that, with those quad chargers that they lay flat, and I'm gonna have to get some lead extensions and stuff. What's this? Doing good? Tired? Yeah. Hi from OKC. I got an ultra powered double and a ProTech Prodigy 6 light button. That's the way to do it right there. ProTech Prodigy quad. See that? Is it blue, Harold? Is that thing blue or is it red? Because I know I'm pretty positive that's what that was the ProTech. Because now you said it wasn't the high-tech, it was the ProTech. That's the charger that I want to get. Because I got to be able to charge more than 2 batteries at a time. You saw the Amars. I saw your poster, MB. Sorry, so the bullseye sound. I didn't see, and I don't know if I missed something, but what exactly is the challenge? I know you obviously called the bullseye challenge, but what is the what exactly are you supposed to do in here? Okay, the Ultra is red and the ProTech. All right, because I seen the blue one, and I know I've seen the red one, but I have the Hada chargers, and these are they a quad charger, NB? Okay. What time is your live? My time. I'm terrible with the time zone thing. I know that you're what, 8 hours? Let's see, 8 30, 9 30, 10 30, 11 30, 12 30, 1 30, 2 30. So you're you're 6 hours ahead of me. So whatever time it is, it'll be 6 hours earlier. So you're 9 p.m. your time. It'll be 2 p.m. our time. Well, check it out. I should be out of my doctor's appointment by then. So I should be able to make it. Like I said, we might possibly go up to the indoor track tomorrow too. I want to do some more lives, like live when we're out running. Someplace like that, even just set up the phone and kind of do a live while we're at certain places. But I don't know what it is. Everything looks. I checked the video settings, but so many times the video just looks. It doesn't look right at all. It looks terrible through the phone. I don't get it. I don't know what it is. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Jeremy. Like I have the one of those fireproof safes. I mean, it's the same thing as a bat safe, basically. If you cut a hole in it somewhere that you could take your leads in through and set them up, that would work good. But it probably would work better since if you had that and had the quad charger behind it and it had the leads coming like in the back side of the safe, that would probably work pretty good. Yeah, I know. Now that YouTube has this whole, joining and doing multiple live feeds at the same time, or you can join like a lot of the other live stream apps that people that do live streams on here. Get 2, 3, 6, 8 people in the chat at a time. It can be a lot of fun. D's Chucks, I've got the red high-tech quad charger, love it, but still haven't figured out how to connect. It's really fun. Some of those things can be a real nightmare, and or you get them connected up once, and then it decides to not communicate again, and you can't get it to connect the second time. My own goofy Bluetooth device I had for recording at one point. I got the thing to connect. I got it in the mail, got it charged up. It was a wireless microphone I was going to try out. They would plug into my phone at the time. Whenever I was recording everything from my phone a few years ago, or a couple years ago, I'm going to try this wireless microphone so that way I don't have a cord attached to me. I got the thing to connect up one time, and then every time after that, I would never connect. It would not talk to it ever again, and I literally threw the thing in the trash. I was so irritated with it. Yeah, I know. I was hoping. I thought, okay, well, it's a brand new phone, 5G, 1080p, or it was a 4K camera. But it's going to look great. But for some reason, coming from the phone through YouTube, like it looked like garbage. It was stuttering. It didn't look clear. Didn't look right. And I'm like, I don't know. Didn't seem worth it. Like I love the idea of being able to like just bring everybody along for live if they want to come out and watch, during a bash. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to look very nice. But I've seen some people do lives and they look great. I don't know what the differences is, but I looked through all the settings and stuff like that to make sure all the resolutions were changed and made right with YouTube, but it didn't seem to make a difference. Yeah, dude, those wireless mics, I love the idea of it, but they are such a pain in the ass. I mean, they don't ever work right. And then if you start getting any kind of noise, they start like the one I had even on the one day that if you started twisting or making any movements and it turned a little connector, it would start creating like a noise. I wasn't real happy with it. That's why I just kept going with the regular wired microphone whenever I was using my phone. And I was glad that the GoPro audio, because that was one thing I was concerned about when I went to the GoPro, was that the audio was going to be garbage. But I was been really impressed, honestly, with the microphone on the GoPro and how well it's worked. Let's see for us. What's up, Garage Life? How's it going, buddy? How are things been in your world? I need to figure out a mic system, something I can use with a GoPro and my phone. Yeah, I mean, the phone, your best bet if you're going to use the phone is get a plug-in microphone. They're like you got to spend at least $18 or more on it if you get it off of Amazon. It's called a lav mic. Just get a plug-in lav mic that you can attach to your shirt. The audio sounds great on them. But as far as the GoPro, like I was looking around at some of the GoPro mics, and number one, they're ridiculously expensive. And number two, if you put a windsock on the GoPro, and like especially when it's a little colder outside, it doesn't affect it. But I've noticed the audio sounds better, and it's not just because of the wind, but the audio seems to sound better with the windsock on it. That it kind of gets rid of that little bit of tinny sound to it, and it gives a little bit more depth to the sound. So, as much as I can, I always run the windsock on my GoPro now, just because of that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Are you going to head out this weekend, Mike? Oh, did you? All right, I want to see which one, because I'm pretty sure what you're going to show me is exactly what I was looking at. And I found it online or somewhere, and I was curious about it, but I never had one, and I don't know anybody. Yep, the blue one is exactly the one that I was looking at. And the red one, okay. Yeah, that blue one is the one I want to get. I think that'd be perfect. I'll just have to get some extensions for it, obviously, to be able to reach into my thing. Red is 150, and the other is I remember that blue one. It was somewhere. I know it was a bit above $200. Maybe I'll have to buy myself something for Christmas. As long as the medical doctors don't bleed me dry. Ugh. Dude, it's amazing, like the visits and stuff like that. What doctors' visits are, I mean, just specialists and stuff like that. It's insane. Medical field and prices are just out of control. I don't know how they, I don't know how these people sleep at night charging what they do. A different mic for my life. I'm on this cheap. Three cameras and cheap. Yeah, NBRC. I was the same way. Like, especially whenever I was doing the lives. Now, right now, I have a lot more simpler setup right now because I don't obviously have all this set up downstairs in my garage right now. But like whenever I was down there trying to do the lives and be at different spots and different heights and all this, like I was trying to use just the audio from the webcam and it sounded horrendous. Like I'm not sure how well this sounds, but I think with this room and the way that things are set up, it doesn't sound too bad. But whenever I was in the basement, it was like that was whenever I realized like I had to do a real microphone, and I actually set up what's called a shotgun mic and all that, and it sounded way better. But this webcam I bought, this one was really expensive, and it was been the best one. Like the picture quality, like when I'm looking at myself right now, like it doesn't look too bad. The colors are still not totally spot on because again, looking at this car, this thing is peach, just like my Creighton XL was. It looked like a peach, but yet this is Hunter Safety Orange. I mean, it's a bright orange, but yet it looks peach on here, which is bizarre. I don't get why the colors are so weird on this camera, but yeah, they are kind of pale, but the audio on it was good. And I messed around one day with the color changing and the warmth and everything on this camera and adjust it. And it seemed like this was kind of the best I could get it at the time. No, I'm not using OBS right now because I'm not using multiple cameras and multiple microphones. I'm just running straight YouTube live. But whenever I do anything more than a camera, if I want to add other microphones, that's when I do the OBS. But I'm not using that now. I mean, this is super easy just to throw up the live when you're directly off of YouTube. When you're on OBS, like you do have to prepare a little bit more. Like you have to get your live started on YouTube to the point where you would go live and then copy your stream key. Yeah, your stream key, copy that and take that over to OBS and, make sure everything's working there and input that stream key on OBS and then go live from OBS. It's a tiny bit more complicated, but obviously you have a lot more stuff you could do with OBS. But the one thing I've never been able to figure out how to do on OBS, and I'm not sure if anybody else in here is, what's up, Sawyer? How's it going, bud? I thought about that one time. I thought about, honestly, with my phone, throwing up a live during a live broadcast, just so everybody could hear the sheer chaos that goes on inside of a truck between the producer and the director and the instant replay guys freaking out and screaming at each other over headset, because they're all on a comm system talking. And sometimes it's just comical. I mean, some directors and producers and stuff, I mean, they lose it pretty fast. As soon as things aren't, right camera's not being cut or the right replay wasn't being done, I mean, these guys start going just off the chain. And it's honestly comical sometimes. But at the same time, there's a lot of language that YouTube might not be happy with either. The SMC, no, I have not had, I've never used the SMC lipos either. Everything. I mean, we literally do everything from we've done a little bit like with some high school football, but basically everything from college football, baseball, basketball, football, any of that thing, everything to the Olympics and everything in between. Pretty much any live sports you watch on TV, whether it be soccer, anything like that, is what our company or what we broadcast to the networks. So that's what happens because like when you watch a football game or whatever on NBC or ESPN, they're not ESPN or NBC is not like, they're not there. if they subcontract a company like who I work for to broadcast it and either send the final broadcast to over fiber or over satellite directly to their station, and then they put it out to everybody on their network. So, and sometimes the same broadcast is put out to multiple networks and people use different graphics and other things. It gets convoluted, but yeah. So it's fun. It's a very fun job. Like right now I'm on, I'm finishing because obviously with switching jobs and then dealing with doctor's visits and all this stuff. But this Thursday, like I go back out on the SEC college football tour for the next couple of weeks and finishing that up, and then start going off and doing other random things, NBA and other games and stuff like that. So it's kind of a mixture of stuff. Travel mostly just everywhere throughout the United States. I've been to Canada numerous times and Mexico, and a lot of stuff like that. So it's fun. You get to see a lot of the world, a lot of the country. What's up, Frank? I just noticed you saw. I don't know how long if you've been in here long, but if not, how's it going? Yeah, yeah, it's fun. It gets like I said, and this was a reason. Well, you know what? At some point, I'm planning because I want to go over. I want to go over to Scotland because that's where our family was originally from. Um, Obviously, with our last name, we're from Scotland, and there's actually like a town named after our town, after our name, and I really want to go over there at some point and visit because it's I've been dying to. I really want to get over to Scotland. What's up going on, RC boys? How's it going? I know San Diego right now has got a lot better weather than we do. We're to 30 degrees. It's one thing I'm always jealous of California is their weather. I think Horizon Hobby is going to release something. You think so? What do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be a car? Is it going to be? I don't even know what they would put out now. What at this point would Horizon put out that would? I mean, unless they did a new version of, because obviously like the Outcast 8S and a lot of those things were all they stopped, they discontinued that. Like, do you think that they would try to release some other new 8S or do a new version of those things? It's getting down to the 40s at night. Oh, that's getting a little colder than it was. Yeah, we haven't had rain. It's been snow. Like I said, I woke up yesterday to everything. Well, yesterday it was funny because I went into the doctor's, a specialist appointment yesterday, and it was in Pittsburgh. And just as I'm getting ready to walk back to the doctor's office, it's like you could see a flurry or two falling. And I was in there talking with the doctor for, I don't know, probably, it was over an hour, about an hour, hour and a half. And I walked back out and everything, and I mean, everything was just solid white. I mean, it got covered so fast. It was crazy. Yeah, the new 8S Bash is in the pipeline from Horizon, but what? You know, what's up, the Big King? How's it going, bud? I know, and everybody's heard this a million times, and I don't. The idea of a 8S Typhon sounds really cool, and if they release that, I would definitely be a sucker, and I would buy one in a second because I love the Typhon. I just wonder in the real world on a fifth scale Typhon on how that would exactly hold up. When you get, because obviously the Typhon, everything's exposed, right? All your shock towers, everything's very exposed on a buggy style. So you start crashing upside down with a Typhon on the front shock towers and bulkheads. Like, I imagine snapping and breaking the bulkheads and the shock towers a lot on a fifth scale. So that's what I'm wondering, how it would work. Good, brother. Yeah, I'm I'm doing good. I don't know. I know I've seen you or talked to you on Facebook a bit. That's what I was talking about earlier on in the stream, was just kind of what was going on with my health and the whole cancer thing and all that. But getting some promising news and some reassuring news from people. So or from the doctors. So I feel better about it, and I can actually talk. And that's why I finally decided to do the live tonight because, like I told you guys last week, I couldn't keep myself together that well to be able to sit here and talk about it because scary stuff. This skill. You talking about the 3 North or something like that? It's the same thing that Speed Psycho just got. But it's kind of a buggy, yes. But like when you see those things in their natural form, like there's a lot more body to that thing than what Thunder or Speed. Like they stripped them down, obviously, to try to save a lot of weight. And there's just pretty much a cage now. But there was a lot more to that car originally. And I remember Speed told me the amount of weight he stripped off of that thing. I mean, it was astounding. It was like 12 pounds or something like that, or 8 pounds, something along those lines. Everything that he stripped off that car in its natural state in order to make it lighter where it is now. I'll have to look at that. I'm not sure. I know I've seen him run both of those things. I mean, those really large cars. I mean, they definitely can be fun. I mean, I enjoy the fifth scales. But again, it all depends on what you're wanting to do. Like, how you best way to describe it. Like, as far as if you're just going out there and sheer just wanting to just beat the snot out of a car and just be able to launch it, I mean, the 8th scale is where it's at. Even like, the Typhons and the Creighton and the Creighton XLs or the Sledge and stuff like that. I mean, the bigger cars, you can definitely do it, especially if they're built enough and has enough of the upgrades and reinforcements to do it. But, I learned really quickly, like with the Creighton 8S, like when that thing was mostly stock, and I was trying to launch that thing off of some of the really large jumps at the motocross tracks, I mean, instantly the chassis braces in the middle were snapping, the chassis brace ends were shearing off. I mean, it was just, I couldn't keep the thing together. But I know it seemed like those 3 Norths, and I mean, I don't know who also has one. I know, like I said, I know Thunder and Speed has one, and they seem like a pretty tough machine. Getting more messages here of people in chat. See what you sent me, Mike. No, I don't want to go into that. Okay, no, I have not seen that thing. I don't know how I have not seen that buggy style. Now that's a 5th scale. Yeah, if Horizon's going to drop something that's new, and especially if they're trying to do something and obviously go something against the no XRT and compete along that line. I mean, hopefully they do something completely new. Like, like I said, I mean, a 5th scale Typhon would be really cool. Something along those lines. I'm waiting for them to like literally start building. I don't know. I wonder like what other things they could put together. I mean, obviously, like they've done basically the Creighton XO, unless they did like a more clean, like as far as like how like people are building the Creighton XLs with basically doing a very clean build, but not having like a fire team body. But maybe they do something like that at some point. But I want to ask an opinion on some things on some of you guys right now. I don't want Horizon to drop something out there that I won't. I know it depends on what it is too. But everybody, all the stuff that comes out, RTR or kits and stuff like that. Like, I wonder why there's not more, or what do you think people would buy? A Creighton XL, that was built from the ground up, and with everything, with aluminum diff cases. Say like how similar to how I built mine. Where it's pretty much all the known weak areas are. and having cars built from scratch. You think people would actually buy those? Like, I know there's a couple companies out there that do it, or people, but you just don't ever hear about them. Or isn't there? Like, I know I've talked to some guys that said, "Oh, I had this built, but I don't know by who." But it's like you wonder. Obviously for companies like Arma or Arma or Traxxas or any of these people, um, they're not going to take these cars or do mass production on, a fully built, 100% bashable car, because probably their cost in the end price of it's going to be outrageous. Yeah, see, that's the thing. And this is my reason, because exactly that's exactly the point. Because anybody that at that point is probably at that level of especially bashing or wanting a car built like that wants to do it themselves, and they know how to. So they wouldn't pay somebody else to do it. And that was exactly my thoughts on it, was because it's like, I thought about that one point. I'm like, I wonder why people don't like, build custom RCs and sell them. It's like, but if you're into the hobby, then you're probably into the cars, and you learn how to fix them, and you learn how to build them and redo how to do everything. So nobody would want to buy it. It's like, oh, well, that takes half the fun out of it. That was exactly my thoughts. You said it exactly right. It'd take all the fun out of it. And that is too. I mean, that was, building the Creighton XL or building the Techno and stuff. I mean, that was half of the fun of doing it all, was just piecing it all together, getting it all built in chunks. It's the best part of it. I wish there was more cars in a, kit form. Like Arma did some more kit cars, or roller chassis. Yeah, where you could buy just, or you could buy more kits like Techno and stuff like that. Because I think there'd be definitely a huge market for that, where people would be able to take it. And plus, you get your car in a bag, in a box full of parts. And at that point, as you're building it, you can literally say, all right, well, I don't want to keep the plastic dip cases. I'm going to change that out now. I'm going to replace those. I don't want to keep these shock towers or whatever. And as you're building that kit car, I mean, you can actually put it together how you want. I don't know why more of them aren't like that. My go-to RC has been the Creighton 6S since M2C, that thing. Yeah. At this point, as far as just a basher and durability, it's a hard toss-up between my Creighton XL and the Traxxas Sledge. And that Sledge has completely amazed me. I mean, obviously, I know it's not stock, so you can't say that, but neither is obviously the Creighton XL. So they're comparable. The Traxxas Sledge is pretty much all M2C-fied. Obviously, the Creighton XL is an all M2C beefcake, Creighton XL package. But that Sledge, I've been amazed. Like, I thought I was going to be breaking a lot more on that thing with like the blocks and A-arms. That thing is just, I've been amazed, and I do not regret that Sledge, because that thing is one tough truck. I mean, when me and Mike and Kenny got together for our bash, the Sledge was the only car that came home from that thing in one piece. Everything else, I mean, most of it was minor damage, goofy little things, but still, the Sledge was the only car that came home in one piece. I've been amazed with that thing. That thing could just take it. The A-arms, I don't know what the heck they made their A-arms out of, but they are the toughest A-arms I've ever seen on any RC car ever. I mean, those things, the amount of rolls and crashes that thing has put up with, and I thought, oh, the A-arm, one of them are definitely busted. And they just keep going. Just keeps on going. I think I've only broken so far, I think, one A-arm on that thing, and it was a really horrible landing. Like, I mean, it would kill pretty much anything. But most of it just keeps going. And especially after changing out the chassis and everything that I've done with it from M2C. I mean, that thing has just been a tank. That car's a ton of fun. It handles great. It drives nice. It jumps nice. Suspension on it now after doing the emulsion shock setup on there from M2C. I mean, the suspension on that sledge now is just, it's perfect. I couldn't be happier with the suspension on the thing. Yeah, I know, Frank. You know what? A couple years ago, I had a Slash, and in the hobby shop, they had the Slash called like the Platinum or something. It had some extra aluminum parts, and I was looking at the Slash, and I thought I saw the kit too, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll do the kit. And then I saw the price, and I'm like, well, why am I going to buy a kit that has all plastic parts, or I could spend pretty much the same amount of money and buy the Platinum that has the aluminum hubs and a whole bunch of stuff. So I just ended up buying that one. But it is goofy. Like, you'd think the kit would be a little bit less, but I mean, again, look at Techno. I mean, well, they're all in kits, but you know, you would think a car that's comes in bags would be a little bit cheaper, but obviously not. The Techno MT40, I don't have one. I want one. The only reason I haven't bought one yet is simply because of, like, I already have the Outcast 4S and I have the Traxxas Max V2. And I just feel like it's basically fitting into that same kind of category. But I have heard nothing but great stuff about the MT410. Yeah, I got a couple sets of electronics. I got 4S, I have a 6S, and two 8S systems that I have nothing to put them in right now. I know everybody loves Techno. I mean, what you're talking about as far as like some quality stuff and the way that they build their stuff in their cars. I mean, you can't say anything bad about Techno. I mean, heck, I thought that sure whenever I took that my Techno, the 2.0, from being a racer to a basher, that I was not going to keep that thing together. But I mean, that Techno's been a beast. The only problem I really have with that Techno is the front center drive shaft. And Mike, you saw what happened up there. Whenever I tried to jump going backwards, I cased it on top of there, and it flexed so much that it actually flexed enough that the front drive shaft, the front center drive shaft, popped out. Nothing major, but that's the only issue I have. And I know somebody, and I don't know if they're in this chat right here, if they're in here right now, but somebody told me that they make a full tower to tower brace for the Techno, the ET48 2.0. Somebody was telling me about this, and that might be the fix for it to help stop that center drive shaft from popping out. Yeah, Frank, the Outcast 4S, it is a blast. That truck is a lot of fun, and it's pretty durable. All my six. Yeah, I mean, my 4S, the Outcast 4S has been holding up great. Everything, it's usually, when you start breaking stuff, it's usually random stuff. Sometimes you do get just those stupid things that you think, how did this break? But, inevitably it usually comes back to, the old driver error. Or in my case, it's Chad, because, I don't crash. So it's always Chad, That didn't fly too well. That didn't go over too well, Geez, I'm not sure if I'm speaking too soon. I can't remember what video that was on now, but yeah, that was funny. You want a 1650 in the Outcast 8S? I just ordered. The Outcast 8S. I have the Max 5 in there with, or no, I'm sorry, the Outcast. That's right. Yeah, I got the the Castle 1650 set up in there with the XLX2, or the Mamba Monster XLX2 with the 1650 motor in that thing. And it's the Outcast power. It's a perfect power system for that car. Yep. Who is this? The gang. Yeah. Yeah, it's Did anybody see that? Did I post that? I actually got to look because if you guys haven't, I think you guys are going to find this. No, I didn't. This video will be coming up next. But the intro I put together with Chad, um, it is pretty funny. I mean, the whole situation, it was pretty good. I hope you guys get a good laugh out of it because, again, it's like I'm a goof. I'm an idiot. I literally put the intro together and watched it and sat there and just laughed at myself. I'm like, goofy. I think it's fair the U.S. has the 4S line about 2 months or so, and then the rest of the world doesn't. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I don't know how long all that is. If it's a shipping thing, I mean, I know there's obviously delay in shipping, but I don't think it's 2 months. I don't know what that is on why there's such a delay going, across the pond there. I don't get that either. Grab them, rip out the balance. Oh, geez. Yeah, you start getting. I tried, and I know there's guys that do, and I'm sure if I really wanted to, most of the times I've always had my balance wires. All of a sudden you get done running the car, and there's balance wires just hanging out of your pack. It's like, yeah, you could cut the pack open, and you could try to solder them back on there, and I've done it before, but I don't know what they exactly kind of solder or what they use to hold on to this thing. But I've never had much luck with the leads still staying on there after they initially fall off. Like, get them soldered back on there, and they just don't ever seem to hold up. Only been a shock shaft I found. Yeah, the Outcast, like that's whenever. I crashed mine and I broke the chassis on mine, but that was definitely no fault of the cars. That was all me doing a 360 loop at a skate park and getting about 2/3 of the way around and then drilling it into the concrete. Doesn't work too well. That thing was nasty. I mean, to hit that thing had was just horrible. I don't think it's very. I think it's planned here December to come. Wow, that's definitely a bit of a delay. What did you? Well, you have the Creighton, right, Mike? You have the Creighton for us, and that was exactly why I went with the Outcast. Oh, I went with the Outcast 4S this time because on the V1 I got the Creighton, and I was busting chassis and having so many problems with that Creighton 4S when I first got it. And then I seen all the other people out there with the Outcast 4S, and this is the V1 I'm talking about. Not any problem. Just going out there bashing, having a blast with that thing. And I'm like, you know what? This time I'm going to buy the Outcast in the 4S line. And so far, it's been holding up great. I tried sending a pic, but I can't find. Oh. Wait, what is this? Oh, yeah. I already sent you this, but this. I didn't look. I'm not going to pull this up right now, but that 30-degree north. How much? How much is that thing? Like, how much is that buggy? I never looked it up. Um, I tried. I don't know about that. Yeah, that's what I'm sure you've seen these trucks. I put the M2C brace on my Outcast, and that thing. I mean, I think that's the only thing that kept my chassis from completely snapping in half. And I honestly would have left the crack that was in my chassis, left it alone, if it hadn't been for it actually splitting the, the front bulkhead. And that was the only reason I decided to just change everything out at one time because it wasn't just the chassis. But I thought for sure the chassis was still going to break in half from that hit. But the chassis just got about, I don't know, about a 2-inch crack in the bottom of it. But the bulkhead completely just bit the dust. Your email going fire soon. Uh-oh. What do we got going on now? What the? I honestly haven't seen, I can't say that buggy. I seen one picture of the buggy here, but I haven't seen it to say that it's ugly yet. See if I can see a better picture of it. So the short course truck, and it's basically, I know it's bigger than like the Creighton 8S. Is it longer or wider or both? I think I asked Speed this, and I know it was longer or something, but I don't know the exact dimensions of that thing yet. But I don't know. I mean, I obviously I'm not. It's nothing that strikes my interest on that thing. The North buggy's ugly. Well, you tell Sawyer doesn't like the buggy. I haven't seen a good picture of it. Well, see, Jeremy, that's what I'm hoping. I mean, I think if Arma did a Typhon, I mean, this thing pretty much, I mean, obviously this looks like a smaller version of a Typhon. If Arma made their Typhon with the blue body, mind you, in a fifth scale, I think it could be really cool. I think it could look really nice. Oh, you split the front bulkhead part of where the hinge pin is. Okay. No. Losi 5B. Oh, yeah. No, the Losi 5B. I mean, I like the look of those short course trucks. I would seriously thought about getting one of those, and I thought about getting a gas one just to try out, because I know I could use it at the motocross track, because I'm not going to bother anybody with obviously the noise and all that. So I had thought about that, but I don't know if I feel like dealing with the whole gas thing. Because obviously during the wintertime, I probably wouldn't be taking that out too much. I know you pretty much have to winterize it at that point every winter and drain the carburetor so you're not. It's just, I don't know if I want to deal with it or not. Yeah, 12S it. Yeah. Can someone buy my X-Max, please? You could buy my X-Max, and then you could have two X-Maxes that you could both want to sell. No, actually, probably I don't want to get rid of my X-Max. It's fun it's great for skate parks. And now that it's cold, that's another idea. Now that it's cold out, none of the skaters are going to be down at that really fun skate park. So we want to take that down, and that is a great place for the X-Max because you can just launch that thing out of the bowl and have fun. Yeah, I know. The gas nitro, I did some nitro and all that stuff, and it's such a pain in the butt. I mean, I guess, maybe if that's all you've ever been used to is nitro, or you're just simply a diehard on it, I get it. And the sound's cool, and it has a cool smell to it. But the headaches of dealing with it far exceed any of the cool factors of them anymore, just between tuning and gas and glow plugs and this and that. Like, I can see it kind of with the whole race purpose and people racing the nitros. Because, that's all you're doing, and you're running a track and you're not bashing. But, you can't do the same thing with the gas as you can with the electric. The Losi 5B buggy. How much? You might have some catches here, Harold. My next will be from Walmart. Walmart's selling X Maxes now. What are they charging for those? I gotta tell you, I haven't looked in Walmart in quite a age. I try to avoid Walmart. Every time I go to Walmart, we had just it always, I'm not being whatever, but it depends on the time of the day. It definitely attracts some very interesting crowds. Driving a 35-year-old Nitro. Wow. Does it still have like a lot of the original stuff in it? I'm dropping away? What are you talking about? I may have been starting to talk too soft. Yeah, I don't know the buggies, but I Sawyer, honestly, like I want to see. I really want to see a fifth scale Typhon. I don't know why. I could end up hating it, but I think I just love to see a fifth scale Typhon. I think it'd be great. I think it could be a fun car. I just don't know how it would handle in the air. Like because with the Outcast and the Creighton or the X Max, you have those big tires to help kind of keep that thing, the gyroscopic effect and everything working in your advantage, right? To be able to flip it, correct it, and all that. I just don't know with a fifth scale buggy how well you'd have air control with that thing. That's only my question. Lag. I'm not sure what the lag is about. I don't know if there's any information here on the stream. Why? Why does it tell you you've managed stuff and you don't have access to stuff? That's whatever. Army needs to come out with. That's what I'm saying. Big King is I want a fifth scale Typhon. I'm not sure what the lag's about, guys. Everything looks good here. All right, yeah, I'm not sure because like I'm not getting any errors showing up or anything. All right, maybe somebody else is having some issues with their outer net, but anyway, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. I got to be up tomorrow and go to some other doctor appointments and deal with all this stuff and fun stuff. Harold Grizzly wants to know how much you want for the X Max. I'm assuming he's asking you. Yeah, even the live streams take a little extra time. Hey, Christians, how's it going, buddy? Christian, I gotta tell you, man, you got some impeccable timing whenever you join. Every time we're right at the tail end of stuff. I'm sorry, man. Sure, boring. Once I got to the fiscal, which made me want to concur, and I couldn't get to work a few years ago. Yeah, I'll have to check out some videos on that thing because honestly, I never really heard or seen much of the 30-degree north at all until just recently. Like I never really seen or watched many videos of them. All right, MERC, I appreciate you tuning in, buddy. I know it's a late night for you, so get some sleep and hope you have a good rest of your week. You have an evening church? Oh, yeah, I guess it would be an evening. Yeah, I'll definitely try and tune in. I'm curious to see what your challenge is going to be, MERC. The bullseye challenge sounds like it could be fun. Maybe we'll get to lawn dart some cars into something. But Harold, are you still in here? I haven't seen him pop up in the chat here for a little bit. Grizzly. Oh, there he is. On to see in 1,200 and a bucket of spare parts. A bucket of spare parts, huh? All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm going to go get a few things finished up tonight and go finish up my stuff tomorrow. But that's about it. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. And it was a good chat with everybody. And like I said, guys, I'll keep everybody updated, as I find anything else going on and with the whole medical stuff and all that. I'll let you know how's it going. So I appreciate it. But y'all have a good night, and I will talk to you shortly. I'll probably try to do another live, maybe even over this weekend and something like that if we get some stuff going on or have some fun stuff to talk about. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great night and have a good day tomorrow. Have fun. Talk to y'all later.